Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are covering the biggest moving cards both up and down. There's some interesting cards on this list that you guys will want to pay attention to, including a trio of cards that are kind of essentially all the same card. So that was a little interesting. So let's just jump into it, starting with what cards have been going up in value. And you're going to notice that there's a few of these on the list, these pre-release cards. Now this is Ethan's Typhlosion pre-release from Destined Rivals, and you can see it's got the Destined Rivals stamp here, and it's kind of seeming like people are moving on to these in popularity right now. We obviously saw this happen with the Pokemon Center stamped promos from the ETBs not that long ago. Obviously they're still popular and still up in value, but those were like exploding when the boom first started. And now we're kind of seeing that trend continue. People tend to love their stamped cards. And Ethan's promo is up 61%. Ethan's Typhlosion, rather. 61% in the past month. It did come out the gate at around 15 bucks, dropped to around 12, 13. And then after that, it shot up to around $24 currently on TCG Player. And right now, there's not a ton of listings. There's only 10 copies currently listed, with the lowest listed at 22, and then it goes up into the 30s. So this will be something to keep an eye on to see if these continue to move up, or if more people come and they start to sell on here and the price comes back down. But it's not only Ethan's Typhlosion. We also have Team Rocket's Mimikyu. Now this one's up 74%, and you can see it was 10 bucks, ran up to not even 11, dropped back down to 8.50, and now we're seeing it at around 17 market, but most recent sale actually at $30 and 7 copies on TCG Player, with the lowest listed at 30, and then after that $40. So it's just this little stamp right here. Now there are multiple versions of some of these cards, which we'll talk about in a second, like right here, starting with the Team Rocket's Tyranitar. Now there's a ton of versions of this card out there, and it is important to understand the stamps, and I'll break it down for you guys. So this is the pre-release card. You got the Destined Rivals stamp. That's the only stamp that's on this card, right? Scarlet Violet Destined Rivals. This one's up massive. This is the one that kind of caught my attention. 375%. You know, back here it was $5, $6, $6, and then it has been kind of slowly moving. 11, 13, 15, and now we're seeing it in the $20 range. So 375% growth in that $20 range. More copies of this one currently listed, 23, with currently lowest listeds right there at market price around $23. So people are liking the stamp promo, and it is a nice looking card in person, right? So this is just the regular pre-release. Then you have the Pokemon Center one, which you can see this is the same card. However, the picture looks different because this has like the hollow pattern. Now, this card does actually look like this. If you're not familiar, it has this hollow pattern. Now, this was a free card from the Pokemon Center. I do have this one. See if we can get the camera to focus on this. So it is a nice looking card. Sorry about the glare. But the only difference there being is the stamp is different. The stamp just says Pokemon Center instead of Destined Rivals. Now this one's up 68%. When it came out the gate, 18 bucks. It came back down to 17, and now it's shooting up pretty big. Market at 31, but most recent sale at 40. Lowest listeds, high 30s, low 40s for the Pokemon Center Tyranitar, right? So that's two versions essentially of the same card that are up pretty big. And you know, when you consider that this was just a free toss-in card, pretty good value considering you got this for absolutely free. So that's kind of cool to see if you were able to score some of those, or even just one like me. I only scored one copy, but just to have for my collection. And then you have this one. Now this one is on the list, but it is moving down right now. This is the staff version, pre-release staff. So same thing. You got this Destined Rivals stamp right here, but then there's a little stamp right here. Sometimes they're hard to see and they're in different spots. It says staff. That's the only difference. This is given out to staff members, and these usually are expensive. a little bit more rare. You can see they came out the gate hot, 140 bucks, and they've only come down. So this is one that is coming down right now. Around $89 is the most recent sale. So continuing to drop into the 80s. So this drop will look more substantial. Give it a little bit more time when they can update this market price to reflect the most recent sales. And you can see all pretty much, even from here, hundreds down into the 90s, now down into the 80s. So something else to track there. Staff going down, where you have the other two versions going up. And obviously this one being up real massive, 375%. So I just thought that was interesting and something worth touching on if you're not familiar with all the different versions of all the different promos, right? So Team Rocket's Tyranitar definitely getting hit here on the staff version. And then you have something like this. The Hops, this is Hops Snorlax from Journey Together, right? It's got the Journey Together stamp and the staff stamp. So this is a pre-release staff. Now this one is up pretty big. Like I said, people were kind of sleeping on these maybe a little bit, and now there's like a little bit of a craze happening. So make sure you check if you have any, even the non-staff versions. If you have non-staff versions, make sure you're checking your cards that you have. But this one is coming down right now, but it's still up pretty massive. It's up 42% on the 3-month chart, and you can see back here it was around 70 bucks. It shot up to around 120, and now it's slowly been coming down since about mid to late April, $122, and it's just been declining. Most recent sale actually around 83. So this one's been coming down quite a bit, and you can see that right here. Lowest listed's in the 80s. So still up pretty big overall considering where it was, but it looks like it's coming back down to around this price. So I just thought it was interesting. And then the more you look, here's an example of one that's been climbing over time. That's a little bit more interesting. You give it some more time. So this is the Feraligatr from Temporal Forces. Now this one's a little different because this is a pre-release staff card, but it can be kind of hard to find the staff sometimes. The stamp, Temporal Forces stamp right here, and then the staff stamp over here on this side. So they put it in a different spot, right? Now this one's only up 16% in the past 3 months, but if you zoom out to the 6 month, it's up 91%. So it's up very big. And if you zoom out on the year, it's only up 57%. So this is one that dropped from the 30s down to as low as, looks like 24.25 was the 1 year low. Now we're seeing it at a 1 year high of around 50 bucks. Lowest listed's around 40. So it looks like this one might be coming down a little as well. So down into the $40 range for the Feraligatr, but nice looking promo card as well. Then you have another similar one, right? Once again, people are catching on to these. They're moving over to these, possibly these promos. The Cleffa, Obsidian Flames, you got the stamp here, staff stamp here, pre-release. But this one's up 48% in the past 3 months. You got market price at 39, but most recent sale at 90. And then, but lowest listed's now are around 50 bucks. So above current market, but below most recent sales. So some of these sales have been kind of all over the place. And before that, you can see obviously in the $30 range. So some stuff all over the place. You have obviously a listing as high as $200. So depending on what you have from what set and what card it is, there's definitely some interesting stuff happening with these cards. So that's part of why I wanted to touch on this, is just see if you have any of these in your collection. Maybe you picked them up and forgot about them. Just double check your promos, because they may be worth a lot more than when you picked them up, right? So 76% on the year here for the Cleffa and 100% on the 6 month chart. So pretty big gains when it comes to just a single card there. And then let's talk about a card that's down overall since release, but has been coming back up more recently. And that is, there's a lot of Destined Rivals in this video, but I'm here for it. So we have the Team Rocket's Mewtwo, the chase card of the set. Out the gate, pre-release prices were pretty high. 450 bucks, came back down to 318. And now we're seeing it pop up into the upper 300s, 375 market price. And if we scroll past these Japanese listings and we get to an English listing, we are pretty solidly at 375, at least for a little while. So they have fluctuated quite a bit just in the few days that the set's been officially out. So 318 back up to 375 and maybe holding at around 375 for now. Something to keep an eye on, because obviously this came down pretty big after release, and you can see that like in this range there were sales that were below 300, even though it says 318. There were sales in the high $200 range. So interesting to see it bounce back off that. And we'll keep an eye on where it kind of levels out. I'll let you guys know. If you're not familiar, I do post daily videos, so we'll keep you guys updated on price movement on this. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel for that. And then another card that has moved, had some bigger fluctuation. We got some ups and downs on Ethan's Typhlosion. From Dust and Rivals out the gate around 50, dropped as low as 36, then sprung back up to 55, and now we're back down into the 40s. You can see there's a lot more copies of this one available on the market, over 100 currently listed, and lowest prices right now, it looks like it's coming back down a little, right around 40 actually. Lowest listed currently, which is below current market. So it looks like Ethan's Typhlosion is coming back down a little bit. So a little bit of up and down and up and down when it comes to this card. Really nice looking illustration rare from the set. Very excited. I will be opening a ton of Dust and Rivals and other sets towards the end of the month. We're going to do for my birthday, I'm going to do a live stream and rip some packs. So I've been saving whatever Dust and Rivals I can get my hands on. So I'm very excited for that. Hopefully get to pull Ethan's Typhlosion. So that'll be super fun. And then I think from here on out, it's pretty much cards that have just been declining, and it's not really that much of a surprise, but Team Rocket's Crobat has dropped quite a bit, 61% down off of these pre-release prices of 167, and we're seeing it kind of hold fairly steady around $65. Now this has been holding about this price since about June 4th at 66, and so not that long of a time frame, right? But it's been kind of holding around that price, and you can see lowest listeds. There's a lot kind of around the $65 range. So another one just to keep an eye on to see if it holds this price, if it continues to drop. 56 copies currently available for the special illustration rare. This is one that I must have in my collection, but I kind of have to be holding off as like I said, I'm going to be ripping some cards. So we're going to see what I pull, and then I can go from there. I am considering master setting Dust and Rivals, which does sound a little crazy, but something I've been thinking about recently. So it's nice to see some of these cards drop. Here's another one that's been dropping. Now this one's just still been going down. Team Rocket's Moltres, it did have a little bump up from 146 up to 150, and then it's just been steadily falling to around 130. Lowest listeds right now are at that 130, 135. So we'll see if 130 is the range where it kind of holds or it continues to drop. So just another interesting thing to keep an eye on here. This is an absolutely stunning card, by the way, as well. I'm surprised that this one has dropped, albeit not that crazy, right? 11% off of 146 down to 130. So this one's actually held up fairly well. The Team Rocket's Moltres. I just like how they drew this card, the pose that they chose. It's a really cool looking card. Can't wait to see this one in person. A lot of these ones I have not seen in person, obviously, because the set is so new. So that's one I can't wait to get my hands on. And then continuing the trend, last one from the set. Ethan's Ho-Oh. Very excited to get my hands on this card as well. Down only 25%, which is still a significant chunk. It was under 200 and then it shot up over 200. It was at 207 and now it's come down all the way into the 140s. Most recent sale in the 130s, and that does reflect the current listings around $130-ish for Ethan's Ho-Oh. This is another one that I have to have in my collection, even if I don't do the master set for me personally. So if I don't pull this card, which I don't think I have enough packs to pull, like obviously all of the SIRs, but hopefully we should be at least pulling a few, and that will be very exciting. So once again, I'm still just looking forward to that. But Dropping a pretty good chunk, but not the craziest amount if I'm being completely honest. So it's just another one to keep an eye on. The set's been pretty popular. It looks like people have been ripping it like crazy. I've seen some interesting numbers coming out. I believe Dan from Catch 'em All Collectibles for his Rip and Ships had posted that Destined Rivals had already moved up into his top 5 sets that have been ripped this year. So that happened real quick. So Destined Rivals getting ripped at an insane rate. So that's interesting. And we'll see how that affects the sealed and the singles market moving forward. And then to end it off, we do have some more prismatic stuff that's continuing to drop. This does make sense with the additional product that we're seeing hit the market. We got the Costco stuff. There's been a lot more ETBs, plus booster bundles hitting the market, and there's more coming from Costco as well. And that is obviously affecting singles prices. You have the EV EX number 167. This one's dropping around 37% in the past 3 months, from $240 down to in the 140s. So this has dropped around $100, if you can believe that. So becoming much more affordable. 65 copies currently listed on TCG Player. And the lowest listed for an English copy is currently 145, which is right there at market price, dead on. So if you're looking at picking up this card, might continue to drop in price. A lot of singles probably will into the summer months, especially as more supply is introduced. But keep an eye on that. Prismatic as a whole, if you're looking at picking up singles from there, because we are seeing, you know, as well as the big dog, the Umbreon, continuing to drop. I mean, 25% drop from 1,500. They have current market price at 1,100, but if you go to the lowest listeds, we do currently, as of this recording, have one below 1,000 at $985 with $2 shipping. So $987 and then 1,000. So looks like listings are definitely below the market price of 1,100. So this one, very interesting to see where the bottom ends up on this card. So this is another one that I will be following very closely and keep you guys updated on. And then lastly, to end it off, the Leafeon has dropped quite a bit. Now, these numbers haven't fully updated. As I was checking, you can see it shows only a 16% drop on the 3-month chart and 17% in the past month. But this is what's interesting. Right here, we were at 468, call it 470, and it's come down all the way to 330. However, this is what caught my eye. Most recent, 250, and lowest listeds are in the 200s. So 264. So essentially, this card has dropped from April till now $200 from the high to this. So Prismatic Evolution cards getting hit very hard. $200 drop on the Leafeon, if you can believe that. That's a very, very massive drop. So a lot of singles moving down, and then you have some promos moving up in value. So it was interesting to see some of those promos and the different versions. Now, regards to those stamped promos that we talked about at the beginning, there's a lot of those stamped promos of other sets and all of that stuff moving up as well. There's just too many to touch on in one video. So make sure you go check those out, or make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because we'll touch on those probably in future videos as well. So a lot of chase cards dropping and a lot of promo cards moving up, with some exceptions, obviously. But interesting little video today. Good. I think it was definitely Destined Rivals heavy, but I thought it was an interesting combination of stuff. So that's all we have for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. And remember, it was never a phase.